one channel, you can still always fix that. One channel recording. Yeah, mine are always the same on both.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right, you're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also find our show on YouTube every single Monday at namely90s.com/YouTube.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Finally, if you'd like to support the show, please head on over to patreon.com/namely90s with a 90s and show us some love. So anyway.
Show us your talks.
Show us your ticks.
Ticks your talks.
Anyway. Wow, here we are, the third of 3 episodes where we actually get the privilege of being in the same room while recording it.
Yeah. I feel like I originally wrote something down to talk about in this intro, but apparently I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, how do you like recording in person so far?
So far, so good. Like I said, it's kind of weird because it's like I'm talking to you, but I have to talk to the camera, which normally when we're doing this, I'm talking to the camera, which is you. So it's a little different.
Or
similar. I mean, my computer's in front of the camera, but
yeah. I haven't turned to my right in 2 hours.
I've turned a little bit. Not having the delay is good though. The delay is kind of cumbersome.
The delay does get to us sometimes, and then we started using Zoom, which is less delay.
It's a little better, yeah,
but it doesn't compensate for delay. So,
correct.
The Zoom, our Zoom syncs are out of sync.
Yeah. True.
Which is annoying when you're trying to edit.
Yeah.
But, we're here. We're recording. It is nice to do it in person. It's like I said 2 episodes ago, I get to see your ticks.
Yeah.
Which now he's...
And my talks.
Now he's...
well, mostly because I'm tired of holding my body in an upright position. I'm just using my arms to support it.
That's fair. I was assuming you were shoving your hands into your armpits so you don't flail them around wildly.
If I sit for a long enough time, I get sick of holding myself. So I just use the table as a support.
I do that immediately.
Okay, fair enough.
But I weigh more than you.
No, it's going to be weird going back now to doing it remotely, but I'm excited for that because it means that my shed is, which by the time this airs, which by airs I mean is uploaded to the internet, I should be in the new pod shed.
Wow.
So,
or under it if
if things don't go to plan, I might be under the pod shed, buried.
It was the wife. It was always the wife.
Yeah, probably.
Always the spouse.
Except when it isn't.
Exactly, and you can take that to court.
I feel like there should be more. We're going to get some sushi after this.
Yeah, hopefully they're still open by the time we get there. They close between like 2 and 5.
We should be all right.
Hopefully. And we're supposed to brainstorm some meeting stuff, or
yeah, we should do that. We could make some sort of effort for social. We could go to karaoke. That's the thing, right? No, this is fun. Maybe we'll do some collabs.
What?
Yeah, with the other guy, Steampunk Link.
From SNEScapades.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hopefully. Well, hopefully that'll work out.
We can sync up our schedules.
Yeah. We're supposed to go over a list of the games that they've rated so far and see if there's any we think their ratings too low on. I already know. I listened to one episode recently and I was like,
and I've probably never played any of them.
Yes, that's the other thing. Don't tell them before we get on.
The kind of quality content you've come to expect from Namely 90s.
And that's your Namely 90s corner for this week.
Oh, I don't think we can steal corner.
Corner from what?
So, well, let me just tell you. So I listen to My Favorite Murder, which is a great podcast. And their whole thing is like, anytime they talk about a topic, they call it a corner. So they have like, they make a correction. They call it corrections corner. If they talk about their network, they call it exactly right corner. But one thing I noticed with them is they had used a term friend of the podcast, which came from another podcast. And I noticed like 2 episodes later, they stopped saying it and started saying friend of the family. So I was kind of like, really, that other podcast reached out to another popular podcast and was like, don't use our phrase. Like, that's kind of dumb. I don't know.
Or maybe they're just going for their own unique
trademark it. But no, a great podcast. You should check it out. Most people have already.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people use generic terms like friend of the show.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. Friend of the podcast. I'm sorry. That's a fairly generic term.
Yeah.
I'm extrapolating and assuming that was the conversation that was had. But
absolutely just don't think that happened.
You're listening to Namely 90s because that's what we do. We say namely and then whatever the thing is that we've just talked about at length, like namely nachos or namely airplanes.
Yes. Now that you've explained the bit, it'll be much funnier. In
namely explanations.
Well, this is the final episode of Namely 90.
He's so mad. It's perfect. This is the quality content you've come to expect from Namely 90s.
All right.
And that's concluded Namely Quality.
Well, yeah, we've, unbeknownst to you, we've stolen things from other podcasts.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Podcasts that I enjoy, specifically calling episodes editions instead of episodes.
My argument is that I hope we are ever popular enough for anyone to ever notice. And if that's the case, and we need to change something that we say from that point forward, at least it meant that we were big enough to be on someone's radar who actually,
cared enough to tell us that we shouldn't be doing that.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think you can. There are common words.
Yep.
Like
corner and podcast.
Yeah, or catch you next time. Like I was recently watching some YouTuber that I've never watched before, and they used the exact same thing I've been saying for years. Catch you next time.
And you immediately filed a lawsuit.
Yeah. I'm like, no, that's just common. It's common words. That's how a majority of people sign off on YouTube.
Yeah. And that concludes Plagiarism Corner.
My videos date back further than Holden Hardman's.
It's just you can't trademark a common phrase that other people use. You can't claim it as your own. Like you strung 3 words together. Do it. Well, I guess that technically that one you can.
Didn't someone try to like trademark the? I feel like recently. Or,
that's stupid.
Exactly. They were like laughed out of court.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
that's namely legalities.
Namely legalities, namely disclaimers. Well, should we talk about September of 1997?
Sure. Listeners, let's travel back to September of 1997. On the 1st, the Disney Channel moves from a subscription service to basic cable after 14 years. I remember that. That was big.
So basic.
That was like the moment where Disney Channel's like, we're getting in the game.
Made it more accessible. It wasn't just the rich kids.
Mm-hmm. Then we were able to watch shows like The Jersey and the famous Jet Jackson. Pulled that one up. On the 30th. On the 3rd, Jerry Ryan appears in her first episode of Star Trek Voyager as 7 of 9. I think that was somewhere around season 4. On the 5th, Mother Teresa dies of a heart attack. Want another death joke from last week? On the 6th, Felicity Huffman marries William H. Macy.
Okay.
On the 6th as well, Princess Diana's funeral is watched by 2 billion worldwide.
That's a lot of people
watching the funeral.
I don't know if I believe that number.
Why?
Does a third of the population have access to that sort of television?
Probably.
Okay. And back then that was less than a third. More than a third, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That seems... Let's have Fox News fact check that one for us.
So they're going to come back with the wrong answer?
I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it.
On the 7th, the first test flight of the F-22 Raptor occurs.
Ooh.
On the 15th, Google.com is registered as a domain name. On the 16th, Steve Jobs is named interim. I was going to say intern. Intern of
Intern
Apple.
CEO.
Interim CEO of Apple. On the 19th, Family Matters and Step by Step air on CBS's Block Party after several years of being on ABC's TGIF.
Strangely enough, Family Matters is one of the syndicated TV shows available on the airplane. What is that? Someone's just like, I gotta watch me some Family Matters.
I mean, they were like, "What? Let's look at all of the inclusivity TV shows from the 90s." And
Carl Winslow's my jam.
Oh yeah. On the 23rd, the Seattle Mariners break the record for most home runs in a season.
Wow.
258. Thank you, A-Rod and Griffey. And Buhner.
Yeah, underrated player right there.
On the 25th, ER does their live episode as their 4th season premiere. On the 26th, Jeopardy's 3000th episode airs. And on the 30th, Fallout for the Mac and PC is released.
And DOS. No, I'm kidding.
TV premiering on the 8th, we have Ally McBeal, or as Andrew knows, a single female lawyer.
Dancing Baby.
Dancing Baby. On the 12th, we have Ninja Turtles, The Next Mutation on Fox Kids, as well as Police Academy, the series. I can't talk today. The series, which is entering syndication. We talked about the final Police Academy movie, Mission to Moscow, just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
On the 13th, Pepper Ann on ABC, as well as the new Batman Adventures on the, I think it was Kids WB, I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
As well as the new Batman/Superman Adventures on the Kids WB. And the new Ghost Rider Mysteries on CBS. I loved me some Ghost Rider. I think we've talked about that before.
The issue with using new in the title of something is that 19 years later, when you're rewatching it, it's not new anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing it.
Also confusing the new Batman Adventures and the new Batman/Superman Adventures. As well as last episode, we had the new Superman Adventures. Or New Adventures of Superman. I don't remember. And on the 24th, Andrew's favorite, Dharma and Greg. Also ending this month. On the 26th, we have X-Men, the animated series, as well. On the 20th, X-Men, the animated series. And on the 26th, Lamb Chops Play Along. Finally, in the box office, on the 19th, we have LA Confidential. And also, finally, the Billboard charts. I don't know why I keep doing that. On the Billboard charts, number 1 for September 1997, in from August, and for the first week is Mo Money, Mo Problems by the Notorious B.I.G., which I believe is a posthumous release.
Posthumously? Remember the time we couldn't remember or say the word posthumous?
Yes. No.
That was embarrassing.
I want to say yes. That was on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them, it was specifically for the song, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. And the rest of the month, it is Honey by Mariah Carey. For the second week of September 1997, did you notice it? Like when I was going into the flashback, I was like, September 1997? Because I couldn't remember.
With a lot of confidence,
yeah,
he said.
I could not remember what it was. Yeah. On the 3rd, we had, do you just want to take it? Okay.
Number 3, Quit Playing Games with My Heart by the Backstreet Boys. Number 7, I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy and Faith Evans. Number 8, Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. Number 9, Barbie Girl by Aqua. Number 11, All For You by Sister Hazel. Number 12, I Was Meant For You by Jewel. And number 23, Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison.
Praise be the Jewel.
Yeah. Praise be to Jewel. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Where you want to go?
And now back to the show.
Yeah, anywhere I want to go.
You kind of reminded me. I totally forgot because it's been a while since I've done a rewatch. But ER did a live episode.
They did.
That's impressive. I mean, you think about you're so conditioned as a TV actor to do takes and things and to be able to basically say everything correctly, especially complicated medical words and procedures and stuff live and really without any major screw ups. But there must have been some degree of delay, I would imagine, to cut it all together and get it to be, cohesive. I just don't see how they could edit it on the fly.
They've done it like 30 Rock, or 30 Rock's done it, although they're all trained SNL actors.
Or is it, is it live in the sense that they...
No, it's a live broadcast.
Really? That's impressive because, again, they're saying complicated words. These people aren't doctors. They can't do takes. ER is famous for its single camera shots that are pretty long where you can't do a lot of cuts. So I guess maybe that's why they're pretty good at it. But that's pretty amazing. And I think they did a separate broadcast for each coast.
No, it was probably pre-recorded like SNL. Or did they?
I don't know. In any case, very impressive. ER, one of my favorite shows. I think that's pretty amazing. So kind of a gimmicky thing that shows do, but I think it shows the actor's true talent.
It's possible they did live because like 30 Rock did live both coasts, but that was like 2 decades later.
Yeah,
decade and a half later.
I'll look at that some more.
Yeah, it's so. Even though I know you were going to pick that, I have nothing prepared. There's a camera crew filming ER.
Everyone does a documentary episode. It's like required. It's one of those things where the writers are sitting around the table and there's a hat full of ideas. And one of them is add a monkey. Thank you, friends. The next one is do a documentary episode, which like literally everyone has done. And then do a live episode. Maybe they chose 2 things out of the hat.
The description says ER live episode rebroadcast for the first time.
There are different broadcasts for each coast.
East Coast viewers to see original West Coast telecast and vice versa.
That would be an interesting one to go back and watch both.
The PBS camera crew goes to ER to film a documentary to describe a typical day in the ER. Morgenstern suffers from a heart attack, and Dr. Elizabeth Corday, a British trauma specialist, joins the staff.
Yes.
How fascinating.
Who plays Elizabeth Corday again? It's someone I know. Alex Kingston. She's good and stuff.
I like Alex Kingston.
Yeah.
She was from Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, she's good.
Trivia. This episode was aired live. Thank you.
Well, the idea for the live episode apparently came from George Clooney and Anthony Edwards, not the hat of random TV gags.
The cast performed it twice for 2 different versions. East Coast version for those on the East Coast and West Coast version. Thank you, Trivia.
That's pretty cool. I want to look that up. Okay.
Well, the problem is they don't always include on streaming like the second edition of the broadcast.
Find it. Maria Bello joined the cast that episode too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Great show. If you haven't watched ER, do it. Love it. Turn off Grey's Anatomy, please.
Yes.
Mercifully.
And watch Scrubs. Wait. Cool.
What else? There was something else on here.
Google.com.
Oh, Jeopardy. 3,000 episodes. Amazing.
In 1997.
Google, also a website that we use now.
We can wait until they get incorporated next week.
Yeah. Jeopardy, please just choose a better host.
LeVar Burton.
Yes, I'm on board with LeVar Burton.
We want LeVar. I know he's busy, but we want LeVar Burton. I did have Google.
How about Aaron Rodgers? He did that.
He did for the guest host?
Yeah, he thinks he can fit around his football schedule. Apparently it wasn't that bad.
I was thinking...
But I just know that they want to select a white man, so we should probably just find all of those that are available and choose them. I want to give a shout out.
What was his delivery? Like, because have you seen the Mannings are hosting like some game show or something? I want to give Kayla a shout out though, because she has suggested someone who was never in the running at all, but I do agree would actually be a good one. Potentially Bryan Cranston, but literally nowhere even near the list of people who it could be. But I thought it was actually a good idea. And the answer is, I am the one who knocks. Sorry, yeah. I am the danger. Yeah, no, I love that episode. We should watch that one. I guess we could skip Google.
I thought we should more publicity.
I thought we should talk quickly about Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, because you finally, after I think we've talked through all of the turtle movies, the live action turtle movies from the 90s at this point, and before you actually saw it for when we were on Watching Comics podcast to talk about it,
right?
So what you didn't know is that there is a live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series that was on Fox Kids that also crossed over with Power Rangers in Space. So let me just give you a brief overview of what that is, because after the third movie they weren't really feeling it, but Saban had like I said last episode, they were like trying to make another Power Rangers style action karate, whatever,
right, for
kids to get obsessed over. And so I think they probably bought all the suits and whatever, and they made this terrible series called Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and it introduced a fifth turtle. Can you name the four turtles?
Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
Giuseppe.
You can't name the four turtles. Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello. Okay. All Renaissance artists of some sort. Yeah. They added a fifth turtle.
Named Mike.
A female turtle.
Okay.
Because that's the dynamic they needed.
I mean, good for them.
And can you guess what her name was?
No.
It was Venus de Milo.
That's awful.
Venus, I believe, that's a statue. They named her after a statue. And she has a light blue headband. So basically, what they've done is they've taken Leo and
feminized him.
Yes. And also confusing that there are two blue banded turtles. Also, here's a photo for you.
Wow, some of these photos have gone a step too far.
A little too. That's official.
Yeah.
Versus, there's some Rule 30, 33 going on, or 32. What is it called?
I like that she has to be in a leotard too. That's like required, because that's the only way you can signify that someone is a woman.
That's her shell.
I know, but I feel like the male turtles were different than that.
True.
I'm starting to see some stuff over here that I'm not liking. People, calm down with your fan art. Good God.
The only female turtle until recently in the comics.
Oh, man.
Yes. Also, her boobs are formed into the shell. That's
shell boobs.
Fascinating. And yeah. So they crossed over with Power Rangers in Space.
Wow.
Power Rangers in Space was supposed to be the final season of Power Rangers.
The New Adventures of Power Rangers in Space / The New Mutation Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. No, it was.
Oh no!
There's a photo of the red, or the crew, the Space Rangers shaking hands with the Ninja Turtles on the moon, I think.
Shell shocked.
Yep.
Get it?
That was the episode. I've watched this episode at least twice in my life.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It was in order to destroy the Space Rangers, Astromeda uses her powers to brainwash another similar team of teen heroes, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And with them under her power, the Turtles con the Rangers into letting them into the Astromega ship so they can take it over for her. All goes according to plan until the Rangers escape and the megaship hits an electric storm. The shock causes the Turtles to break free from her spell and expel her from the ship. The Rangers return to assist and plan to return the Turtles back to New York. However, they have one tiny little request: galaxy gliding in space. So the Space Rangers had like giant surfboards that they would ride.
And then they ate a bunch of soggy, gross pizza for like a solid 5 minutes.
Yeah, you remember that? So do you want to share? Because if our listeners haven't listened to that episode we did on watching comics, what were your thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze?
I just thought, I mean, the thing I was referencing was the very beginning. It was just a bunch of establishing shots of New York with people eating like super gross looking pizza.
Yeah.
Like real soggy, limp, just like
they dropped,
overly cheesy.
They dropped whatever pizza sponsor they had in the first movie. I think it was Domino's. So no one was on quality control, and they just had limp.
It was all very unappetizing looking.
It was gross.
People were just like sliding it into their gullet. It was just like, ugh. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. So overall, the movie was watchable, but relatively dumb, as most kids shows are.
Yeah, that's fair. Any other thoughts on the Ninja Turtles?
No, I think boy, those suits must have smelled bad.
That's true.
All that pizza just smells like old garlic and cheese inside the head.
Ugh. Oh yeah, because they would actually eat it.
Oh,
yeah. Ugh. Hiya, Barbie.
I just want to say before Brandon does his thing.
Hi, Ken.
The fact that we had to change all the people in Sailor Moon so that it wasn't like offensive and it wasn't overly sexualized because American audiences couldn't handle that. Let's now listen to this.
You want to go for a ride? Sure, Ken. Jump in. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation.
What am I supposed to read?
You could cut in at any time.
Okay.
No, I can. Whenever I read these, you go silent. But when we used to do it, you would just get overwhelmed at how.
Well, you haven't quite gotten there yet, but it is very repetitive already, and we've just started.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere. Imagination, life is your creation. I'm a blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world.
Wow.
Dress me up, make it tight. I'm your dolly. You're my doll, rock and roll. Feel the glamour in pink. Kiss me here, touch me there. Hanky panky.
I mean, again.
You can touch.
Like, God forbid someone be a lesbian. But this is fine. This is fine.
If you say, I'm always yours. Oh. I'm a Barbie girl.
Oh God, not this again.
In the Barbie world. Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You can brush my hair, undress me everywhere.
Does she mean in multiple locations or like multiple parts of her body? I don't really understand what she means by everywhere.
Life is your creation. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Ooh. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Ooh.
I'm sorry, that's just not even, those aren't even lyrics. You can't.
Make me walk. Make me talk. Do whatever you please. I can act like a star. I can beg on my knees.
Okay, wow.
Come jump in. Bimbo friend. Let us do it again. Hit the town. Fool around. Let's go party.
I have no words. Whereas this song has a lot of words that are mostly meaningless and degrading to women.
You can touch. You can play. If you say, I'm always yours. You can touch. You can play. If you say, I'm always yours. Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. Oh, God. I'm just going to...
Yeah, I mean, it's just repetitive. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Come on, Barbie, let's go party times 4.
Yeah. And then at the end, it's, oh, I'm having so much fun. Well, Barbie, we are just getting started. Oh, I love you, Ken.
I feel like in the past, it's always been funny when you keep flogging the same the same lyrics. But this is so insurmountably terrible and degrading and offensive and really just awful. I mean, it's not good quality.
The fact that I couldn't say, the thing that really, what I'm doing these, like, I wanted to go, come on, Bobby, let's go, Bobby. Yeah. Like, it makes you want to, it's stuck in your head and you want to do it.
But in a bad way. It's like a compulsion.
Earworm.
This is one of the most reprehensible, poorly written, just god awful songs that should have gotten exactly zero airplay. But that's America for you. Again, Sailor Moon can't have like any lesbian people in it, but you can totally talk about sexually explicit and suggestive things on the radio, no problem.
This came out when we were in the third grade, so our classmates, third grade girls,
and the issue is
would be singing this aloud.
It's a popular kid's toy as well. Also, how'd they get away with using that? I mean, I guess Barbie is a woman's name, but it clearly was related to was it just publicity? But is this really the kind of publicity you want for your kid's toy, who is already like impossibly proportioned and gives people an unreasonable idea of body image? I think it's a real problem.
I mean, I want to assume it's some sort of parody. I mean,
yeah, I get that, but I think if people don't understand,
they were Danish and Norwegian dance pop group, so it's possible.
Let's just limit ourselves to pastries of those places.
The lyrics of the song are about Barbie and Ken, the dolls made by Mattel. Both the song and the music video feature blah blah blah. As such, the lyrics drew the ire of Barbie's corporate owners, and a lawsuit was filed by Mattel.
Good. Well, I just think you're assuming there's some deeper purpose or reason to these lyrics. I would disagree. I think it's just total pandering. I think that's what it is.
A footnote on the back of the Aquarium CD case precisely stated that the song Barbie Girl is a social comment and
BS.
was not created or approved by the makers of the doll.
That's so easy for these artists to say. It's a social commentary. What? It really wasn't. Like, at some point, explain how you're being satirical. That's my argument. In the lyrics.
In the lyrics.
It's not satire. It's just...
It's not ironic. It's ironic that it's not ironic. Who the fuck is Kelly Key?
I know, why would you cover this song?
Oh my God.
Jesus. Crawl under a rock and... Well, I'm not going to... Anyway, I don't like this song.
Come on, Andrew. Let's go party. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Who wrote the lyrics? Was it actually Aqua?
Yeah, I believe so.
And how many other hit songs did Aqua have?
Apparently they had some bangers on this album, but no one's listened to them. Shrimp
anyway,
on the Bobby.
I feel gross after hearing that.
Good. Let's see. It doesn't say who wrote it. Songwriters. Soren Rosted, Claes Noreen.
I would say it's the people from the band.
Yes.
Group. Musical act, not band.
Yes. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's one of those things that, like, unfortunately, it's burned into the history of pop culture forever, but it's really, really horrendous.
Is it though? Like, if we played this for a Gen Z person, I don't think they would
probably be mortified, especially if they heard the lyrics, because it's mortifying, frankly.
There's a podcaster that's our age, a comedian, and she goes out dressed up as we would have 20 years ago,
right? And
asks Gen Z's questions, and like, I feel like she's played this, and it's like, what is this song and who is it by?
They ask them to use a phone book.
Have you heard? Yeah, yes, I've seen them do that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Never again.
Barbie Girl. I don't know. This is the bane of my existence in third grade. Yeah, it was.
Well, I haven't, in my opinion, unclear, so I think I've said all I need to say.
They would play this at our school dances. And then, leave space for Jesus.
Like, we're not actually talking about a doll here either, in a way. I mean, kind of.
I think you're reading into the lyrics.
Oh, whatever.
I'm just saying you can't have it both ways.
Listen, I can beg on my knees. Let you do as you please, undress me everywhere or something.
And some of the slant rhymes are
and the use of the word bimbo. Oh,
I guess that they aren't originally English speakers.
Whatever.
Still, yeah. Anything else from 19?
No, I think I need to go shower after that one.
Yeah.
What a deep poetic choice.
I'm glad. I knew we were going to reach this episode one day, so I'm glad we got to it.
All right, let's go party. Yeah.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. And that's it for this week's edition, Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. And remember, we are now including a Spotify playlist in the description for each episode, so you can listen to Barbie Girl if you don't like me reading the lyrics monotonously. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s with 90s, or find our personal accounts at bshwitty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/Namely90s with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com, which I don't think is true. There's no contact information on that.
Well, true.
Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Barbie Girl, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. Wow, my brain blanked there. And wherever you get your podcasts from. I always say from.
At from.
It's written at. I always say from. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew, and we will catch you next time.
Oh, I'm having so much fun.
Oh, I love you, Ken.